Start exercise 173. Madam, I rise to support the bill, although with some reservations. This bill, which seeks to amend our constitution, introduces, as the previous speaker said, no new principle at all. It only facilitates the implementation of a principle already adopted by us, by Parliament, and by the country. It is an enabling bill to protect the enactments which have been passed by the various state legislations in the country. As everybody knows, certain enactments were struck down by the courts, by the Supreme Court in some cases, and by the High Courts in some other cases, on the ground that some of the provisions of those enactments were violative of certain articles of the Constitution. The validity of the Land Reforms Act has been challenged. Now, what is to be done? I think there are only two alternatives before us. Either we have to give up once and for all the whole principle of land reforms, or we have to amend the Constitution in such a way that the principle of land reforms is protected. There is no other way. Some honorable members are vociferous about the sanctity of the Constitution. But who wants the sanctity of the Constitution to be violated? It is being argued that this bill violates the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. The right to acquire and hold property guaranteed by one of the articles of the Constitution is interpreted as the right of the landlord to exploit the peasants and amass unearned income. Of course, they do not speak for the landlord. They speak for the entire agrarian population. They speak for the small downtrodden peasants, proprietors. But does this bill hurt the peasant proprietors? The bulk of the peasant proprietors in our country hold only very small parcel of land. According to the census of agricultural holdings, 82% of the agriculturists hold below 5 acres of land. The bill does not speak to dispossess them. These millions of small peasant proprietors. Only a small number of persons owning large estates, owning large proprietary rights, only a few big landlords will be affected. In the name of land settlements, these landlords have amassed extensive plots of land, extensive holdings. They do not cultivate the land themselves. Some of them cultivate their land with the help of hired labor, and others farm them out to tenants, subtenants, or sharecroppers. Para. Madam, it is only just that those who till the land must get the ownership of the land they till, and those who own land in excess of the ceiling should be deprived of the excess, and the excess distributed to those who are willing to cultivate and who have no land. What is wrong in this? It is true that the security and the so-called fundamental rights of a few big landlords are taken away by the bill. But what about the security and fundamental rights of millions of small peasants, downtrodden peasants who cultivate the land and produce our food? Does the Constitution want that the bulk of the peasant masses and agricultural workers in the countryside should have no right to enjoy the property created by their own labor? That is certainly not the spirit of our Constitution. Our Constitution provides that the ownership and control of the resources of the community are so distributed as to serve the common good. This directive principle is also a fundamental principle, more fundamental than the right of the landlord to exploit the peasant. Those who raise the banner of fundamental rights